Water. It can be calm, serene, peaceful, but there are some out there who live for when the water turns to chaos, when it tumbles and churns. There are some who live for the white water. We had just finished a backpacking trip at Mount Whitney. Back at lower altitudes, it was now time for us to paddle on the rivers that the mountain snowmelt feeds into.
You're in for a treat today. We've got great white water today, great boaters, excellent guides, so we're all going to be river friends. Has everyone done this?
Yes.
Yeah? No. Super easy, just hands in front of the seat, you know, don't stick your hands out the window.
We hopped on a bus, cruised past some beautiful California hills, and arrived at the Keysville boat launch. Here, we grabbed our rafts and carried them down to the water.
Ready.
Our river guide, Montana Pat, went over some safety rules before we paddled out.
All right. Keep it going, all together, all together. And a couple more. And stop. And let's go back to.
Right from the start, the river's current was moving fast, but this was nothing compared to what we had up ahead. Soon, we approached our first set of rapids.
Ready, Thomas?
Think so.
There's a bunch of whirlpools, we call them eddy lines. All right. Where like the currents will slow down with some of the slack water on the side of the river. Those can be some of the craziest features on this first day.
All around us, there were interesting rock formations that had been eroded by the turbulent river. And now, it was our turn to get a taste of that water.
That was a class 2.
The first set of rapids had soaked us, but this was just one of the smaller rapids on the river. Soon, we entered a calmer section of the river, where the smooth, rocky bluffs almost gave the river an amusement park feeling.
It's like a water ride, man. Except
It is a water ride.
Yeah.
As we drifted down the river, Pat told us about an old game they would play in Iowa called Hey Cow.
Hey, cow!
No,
With the water so calm, Robby decided to take a brief swim. But it was a bit tough to get back in the boat. And then we approached another rapid. was it?
That was awesome.
Before long, we stopped at a grassy part of the riverbank for lunch.
That was awesome. I love the cold water just splash. It's so refreshing, man.
It's like as soon as you hit that class 3 one, I instantly saw how people could like doing this.
Oh,
like when you
yeah.
hit that huge one, you're like, oh man.
While our hard-working guides tied up the boats and carried in supplies, the rest of us went to swim around in the refreshing water.
Man, I can see why being an otter would be really fun.
Good thing it's so hot outside.
Hey guys, act like you're working, okay?
Back on land, our guides prepared some fresh ingredients for sandwiches, peeling vegetables, slicing tomatoes, and even rolling up the deli meats. They continued preparing the spread for lunch, while we stood around drying off in the sun.
What are you thinking of putting on your sandwich?
Everything. Why would I not?
How's the sandwich?
It's good. Did you get on yours? Some onion? Oh, I missed the onion.
Oh, you missed the onion.
After enjoying a hearty lunch, it was back into the rafts. We were all eager to get back into the river and feel the cool water splashing against us. As we made our way down the river, Pat talked about his past experiences going through the upcoming rapids.
Right before these holes, like the most important part of the entire stretch of river, we went over this shallow rock. Sometimes when that happens, as a guide, you'll get, it's called guide launched. So like the front of the boat will go over a rock and it causes the back to just like spring you up in the air. So I got guide launched as we were like 50 feet above these holes. And I was like sprawled out in the middle of the boat. And I was just like, okay, everybody all forward. Let's go back to.
We neared some of the bigger rapids, so we all got ready to listen to the commands of our river guide.
When we get into the bigger rapids, just be ready for like back left, back right, that sort of stuff. They become a little more important when we get in, especially like the class 4 stuff. So let's go forward 1. Let's bring it in, woogity.
The water calmed for another stretch of the river, but we soon approached a Class 4 rapid, the White Maiden's Walkaway. We had 4 more Class 4 rapids up ahead, and we all docked our rafts to inspect the next one. With varying water levels and conditions, the guides wanted to get a look at the rapids from land to strategize how they would get through it safely.
So what we're looking at here, Sundown Rapid. It's all about the setup. So we got this curling wave at the top here. We tried planting the left tube of our boat kind of in that curl. And then you can kind of see a green tongue going through there every once in a while. That's roughly where we want the right side of our boat. Then if we're set up perfectly, it should just take us right down into that huge drop right there. If you're a little too far right, you can see kind of some munchy white water curling back on itself. That's kind of the sundown hole. You don't really want to be in there. So you're a little bit better off being a little further left. But you can see like some rocks and stuff really far left there. Obviously we don't want to be too far left. Yeah, so we've seen some epic carnage at this one. I think we'll crush it. We just gotta plow through some of these waves at the top. If we need to, we'll tee up whatever hole we're heading towards and hold out for the ride. Yeah.
We had gotten through the rapid fairly smoothly. Up ahead was Buffalo Rapids, named after a buffalo-shaped rock, sitting precariously at the top of a cliff.
So far so good, guys. We got the rest of this rapid, then we'll eddy out at the bottom of this. Jared will go over kind of like the whole camp scenario, and then one more little rapid and we'll be at camp.
You ready, Andrew? Ready?
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Forward 2.
We docked our rafts at a rocky part of the riverbank, where tonight's campsite was located.
Some of the guys can point the way as well.
Good day, guys.
Great day.
As the guides hoisted up the rafts, we all went inland to carry in a bunch of food and supplies that had been brought into the campsite.
Okay, so we're looking for a campsite now. They just let you pick your cot or what?
Yeah, I think you can just pick any bench. No, this place looks like a beach resort. They got like the nice big tents with the little tiki lights or whatever.
Their kitchen has like every single spice and sauce you could imagine.
Yeah, we were carrying in the big igloos and like the meat one was so heavy.
3-person?
We each get 5 planks.
Did you witness the person falling out?
No, we just heard about it. We were too focused on our own paddling. I was actually surprised I never got close to falling out.
We both, like, I would look at both.
We were like,
not gonna fall out.
They say over in that direction there's something called Miner's Eddy, which is like a little eddy in the river that you can swim in. And supposedly the water's really warm, so at least until the sun's down.
Do we want it to be warm?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. You know, it's so hot and dry here that unlike every other episode of video we've ever made, we don't have to get buck naked to get in the water. Oh, that's good.
The cool water was refreshing in this hot, dry climate, and the strong current of the river almost acted like a treadmill as we swam upstream.
It's like a treadmill for swimming.
After a bit of swimming, we headed back to the campsite to relax and dry off.
Cheers.
With the buzz of a couple beers in our gullet, some nice ambient music, and the warm sun shining above, we all felt rejuvenated and relaxed. This was glamping done right. Just the essential luxuries, without sacrificing the rustic, sleep under the stars experience of camping. As all of us got boozed up, our river guide started preparing dinner in the kitchen.
Hi, welcome to Kern River Outfitters Kitchen.
Before long, we had some hearty appetizers on the table.
See if it works. Let's see if it works. See if it's any good.
Give me a beer from the go.
Looks good.
Layered bean dip made with fresh avocados, tomatoes, green onions, sour cream, and cheese all melted together in a cast iron skillet.
How is it?
And then get into the union and get going.
It's great.
What you want to do.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. Nacho.
Oh my god.
But CBS.
We continued feasting, and our guides continued cooking.
Is that what you're grilling?
Yeah.
How many pounds of meat is that?
It feels like an awful lot.
Next was some chicken and tri-tip steak, cooked over a wood-fired grill. And of course, we had to have some veggies to go with the meat.
Well, here we have, this is the special recipe. It's called Kern River Outfitters Stir Fry. It has lots of veggies. This is only a small portion of them. More veggies over there, all stirred and fried together.
And our river guides didn't just stop at dinner. They were also whipping up some batter for soft, chocolatey brownies.
Oh yeah.
Yum. My favorite part of my childhood was licking the bowls.
That's what, inspired her to become a raft guide in the first place. You're going to lick a brownie bowl every once in a while.
I knew that someday I'd be making brownies for several guests and be able to lick the bowls. Raft guiding is what I need to do to get there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's just the in-between time.
Oh yeah, and they had a special pink cocktail called a
Kern Cool Down.
You guys need one? You want one?
Yeah, I'd love one. Thank you
so much.
Oh yeah.
Toast.
Wait, what is this?
Tequila and some sort of juice.
No. There's a name for it. They call it the
Kern River cooler or something.
Kern River cooler, I think.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hang on, let me find out. Kern Cool Down.
well, so this is a Kern Cool Down apparently. What is it? Tequila and juice?
It smells like watermelon. Tastes like watermelon too.
It's not often that we have the benefit of booze on a beach.
No.
I've never camped with a kitchen before.
We've tried.
We've definitely brought enough equipment.
Oh, that's good.
And look at that view right there.
Yeah.
Got the river right below you. We're gonna go over that tomorrow.
This was a good end to Whitney.
Yeah. And all of this water comes from Mount Whitney.
Yeah. The very same that we drink from Yuscon. That's what all that pink snow was.
While we waited for dinner, we looked around at some plants like this poison oak and this dried up yucca, which Thomas actually knew quite a bit about.
When you take some of these spiky pointy ends, you can actually thread it, or you can actually tear it apart and make it into little fibers that are incredibly strong. Some of the Native Americans in this area actually use that for their sandals and rope. And you can actually eat these, I think.
And while the fresh fruits of yucca might be edible after being boiled, we found one plant that you definitely don't want to eat, Datura. Besides being highly toxic, this plant can make you hallucinate for days, often resulting in people being hospitalized, arrested, or both.
It's not recommended. It's not a good time. And with that being said, I will now pick it and eat it.
Thankfully, there were better things to eat back at camp.
Come eat some dinner!
We had garlic bread, fresh kale salad, some sun-dried tomato pesto pasta, and of course, the grilled meat. We all sat and enjoyed supper, but I needed a beverage to go with my food. A very particular beverage, which is much more easily found in California.
So I was on a Canadian flight one time. They were bringing the drink carts around, and I ordered a Clamato because I thought, hey, I don't have enough problems in my life. But I actually ended up liking it. Thomas told me about this devilish concoction. Even me as a Clamato lover, Budweiser and Clamato just seems wrong.
But wait, it's not just that. It's with salt and lime.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect combination, that's what they say.
Now you think this is...
That's disgusting. By the way, Budweiser is not sponsoring us. Nobody
No,
sponsors
yeah.
us.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I actually prefer this to Bloody Marys, which, I mean, I enjoy Bloody Marys, you don't, right?
No, I hate Bloody Marys.
But this is like Bloody Mary, except when instead of that harsh liquor taste, it's got a nice,
clammy taste.
a nice soft Budweiser taste.
Clammy taste.
This is 25 fluid ounces. Cheers.
See, the thing is, though, Andrew thinks that everything tastes good, no matter how disgusting it is. They eat anything, like, oh yeah, I like it. I'm like, Andrew, you don't understand what the word like means. Tolerating does not mean liking. That is not good, but it's not disgusting.
What?
It's like carbonated Bloody Mary. That's what it tastes like.
With clams.
No, I don't taste the clams. I taste the pepper.
I forgot. I didn't even think about the carbonation. Yeah.
But that's like the opposite of refreshing.
It's clam-tastic.
Some brain.
We were talking about who invented Clamato, and I was like, it had to be a fisherman with only tomato juice and clams available in his sea ship pantry or something. I was like, well, all I've got is tomato juice and some vodka and a bunch of clams I just caught.
The sun was setting, and so our guides got the fire going for the evening.
Just like so.
Amid the fire's glow, we sat in the haze of dusk, enjoying each other's company. Most of us had been strangers just 12 hours ago, but after spending time on the water, relaxing together with some beers on the beach, we had definitely become close river friends.
I think I put too much lighter fluid on.
The Milky Way shined overhead as the campfire died down, and we each made our way to bed. It was early in the morning when we awoke to the smell of breakfast. Fresh scrambled eggs, fruit, potatoes, and bacon.
How's breakfast?
Better than any other breakfast I've had. Camping.
Hey, river friends.
I feel like a 90s children's show hero. It's like, it's morphin' time!
Unfortunately, we lost Pat today. He was feeling a little under the weather, so he went home. Get well, Pat. Matt is gonna take over, be our river guide today.
The guides released the rafts from their rocky moorings, and we were back on the river. But before heading out onto the rapids, we stopped somewhere to go over today's plans.
Where is he at? Over there. Matt Fulford, guy in the flesh, the owner of this company.
The humble shuttle driver.
Matt Fulford, just a couple of fun facts for you. He was conceived in a boat. Water birth on the Middle Fork salmon, day 10.
Jared.
Incredible story. Ask him about it later.
And then, it was time for more whitewater thrills. First up was the False Flush, a Class 4 rapid. Then, we headed onto land for a portage.
That rapid over there is Class 5 or Class 6, so we have to portage around this one.
The rafts were pretty cumbersome to carry across the rocky path, but before long, we were pushing them back into the river. Once we were back in calm waters, we took a quick dip in the river.
Just you and me,
Look at me.
Thomas.
I am the captain now.
And then it was back to action on a couple of Class 3 rapids. We made our way back on land for a brief but tasty lunch before paddling down some more white water. The river had been heart-pounding, but we were nearing the end of our journey. Just before the end, though, was a jumping rock. As we dove off of the rock, we tried our best to enjoy these last moments on the Kern River. We started our journey exhausted and tired after hiking in the mountains, but now we couldn't get enough of the river.
Said I'm not just your river guide, I'm your river friend. Yeah. Woo, I like it.
I'm not sure if it's just that cool, easygoing people are drawn to the exhilaration of whitewater rafting, or if being tossed around in a raft reminds you, no matter who you are, to not take life so seriously. Maybe it's a bit of both. Either way, we would treasure our memories of the Kern River for a very long time. And what made our memories that much better was the camaraderie of the other rafters, the kindness of our guides, and the experiences we shared with all our river friends.
Everybody get down, butts on the floor, we're heading for a tree. Probably could have avoided this if you'd have just listened to me. When I said right back, we went forward too, and then I thought, oh no. But I'm not just your river guide, I'm your river bro. And I'm old Pat, I wrote a lyric for all y'all too, so here goes. Well, you know I come from Iowa and my name is Patrick. I want all you lovely ladies out there to come sit on my chair and sit down next to me while I sing you a river tune. Cause I'm not just a river guide, I'm a river goon. We're looking forward to tomorrow, gonna crush the big five. Hopefully at the bottom, well lost to be alive. Getting wet and wild, getting tossed about, looking like he's stuck.
Alright, we ready? On three, whitewater, okay? 1, 2, 3.
This next one's important. Well, remember, you can tip over your boat, but you can never overtip your guide. Make some boats coming along on this wild river ride. So grab a drink, raise the glass, and please give us a hand. We're not just your river guides,